Hi Rupert.
Hello Fiona, how are you?
We haven't seen you since I think Salon Cornwall in
Yes.
March, just before lockdown, I think.
Yeah. That was an interesting one.
Yeah.
Do you see the work surface height?
Yeah.
Do you pay attention to how high it is?
Yeah, we figured that.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah,
So
we figured that.
I should really send you my physio bill because I was struggling after that. But no, that was a good day. I enjoyed it. It was nice to see a different, cause obviously the remit we've used is in all hospitality. So to see kind of salon and the beauty world kind of interact with food was interesting
Great,
as well.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
Good,
it was
good
good.
event. So we've asked you today to come up with something for our apprentices and students that are interested in cooking. So I don't know if you want to just talk through what you're going to do.
Well, you said something, and I thought, well, it needs to be nice and quick and easy, and I thought it was a good opportunity to show off the little outside area that we've got at the school.
Yeah, it's great.
So basically, it's based off a warm Panzanella with some Gurnard, but again, any fish doesn't matter. We're going to barbecue the fish and kind of batter the tomatoes on the barbecue, and that's it. And just
So apart from Gurnard, what other fish could
it
you
needs
use?
to be fairly robust if you're going to barbecue it. It doesn't, you can pan fry it, and it can be something like, well, you can obviously barbecue mackerel, but if it's a little bit more delicate, I'd do it in the oven or like in a bag, like en papillote on the barbecue. But yeah, anything meaty, so Gurnard, hake would take it, mackerel as we said. But yeah, anything, it doesn't really matter, just fish, full stop.
Cool. Well, you chop away,
Crack on.
and then we can have a chat about kind of the topic at the minute, which is COVID.
Oh, nice. So
Lockdown.
Haven't spoken about it enough.
Ugh. How's it been?
It's been interesting. It's been a very bizarre time, but I think most of the world, more so hospitality, would agree with that. Just FYI, we're going to put those on the hottest bit of the oven. You can use whatever tomatoes you want, and you were just saying a glut of tomatoes. This is nice to use them up. Yeah, and it doesn't really matter. We're going to just hammer them, make them nice and burnt and crispy.
Lovely.
And then we'll put it to everything else, so they can just go on the hottest part of the barbecue.
Cool.
But yeah, back to bizarre time. It's been a funny one. Obviously, the wool was taken from under my feet pretty much, and everyone was in the same case. But yeah, it's just about how you adapt, and I've been very fortunate in that.
Yeah, it's what we're interested in. How did you? What
did I do?
Yeah, what did you do?
In hindsight, I probably should have taken a holiday because I probably worked even harder. The lockdown period, I should have taken kind of the opportunity to rest. I think I was talking to someone earlier. I did like 32 days on the bounce, just working like 12-hour days, 14-hour days. It was crazy, just to try and keep the momentum with the school on doing anything, whether that's takeaway food, delivery boxes.
So you were doing takeaways and...
Yeah, I pretty much, as soon as that initial lockdown, or it seemed to be the case, I was like, right, I need to be proactive here and put a menu out straight away. So yeah, it was takeaways predominantly, food boxes, kind of veg boxes and things. And some of it's just try to do everything. In hindsight, I potentially spread myself a little bit too thin. I could have concentrated a bit more, but I literally didn't know what
I think
else to
everybody was just sort of like trying to figure out
what lent themselves. Because speaking to Adam Banks, the 15 former head chef there, he did a kind of Italian pasta course a few weeks ago. We were talking to him, and God, you couldn't have asked for worse luck. You kind of go down 15, and then this happens. But he's been really, really kind of conscious of kind of focusing around the Newquay area, and had huge buy-in.
Was that online or was that?
He does it all through Instagram. So if you live in that Newquay area, definitely check him out. And he does pasta boxes and like meals, wine, like on a Friday night, I think. He started a pop-up venue as well in Newquay. So yeah, it's about those chefs.
I think a lot of people kind of really had to turn around, think really hard, and come up. Yeah, quick. That was the thing. So yeah, unfortunately, I guess some businesses kind of have been a bit apathetic and not.
Kind of waiting. It just depends really.
It was so difficult.
Yeah.
So difficult.
Because some potentially, if I really looked at the numbers, potentially I kind of spent. They didn't kind of the margins weren't there. Whereas if I just held back and not had the outgoings, then maybe that would have been. But kind of W do, W don't in many respects.
So what do you think the major change? I mean, what was the bulb moment for you? Was there anything that you changed that's made a difference to your business now?
I don't think necessarily. I think potentially there's an online future, but I'm very reluctant to go because when you look at online kind of chefs and things, they have huge budgets for production. I mean, Jamie Oliver's got one kitchen dedicated to still photos, so that's what you're competing against, and also they're free. So if I'm talking about business, and it's got to be boils down to it, whether you love food or passion, it's got to give you a return. it's difficult to stay competitive in that environment. So we'll see. There's plenty of, but it's certainly made me think kind of outside the box.
Cool. So Panzanella.
Panzanella, very cool traditional Italian salad. It's very much used for stale bread predominantly. We're not going to go crazy on the bread. Putting a little bit in.
I don't like a lot of bread.
Do you not?
No.
Oh, I love bread. So.
I was supposed to be down in Italy this last couple of weeks and didn't go.
That's a shame. Whereabouts were you going to go?
Down to a place called Lecce.
Oh, Lecce.
Which is...
Yeah, I went on honeymoon there. Puglia.
Oh, did you?
It's amazing.
I've been going there for years. I really love it, yeah.
So
I stay with a priest. It's my spicy.
Say no more. Yeah, so Puglia, to anyone listening, go to Puglia, especially if you love food. If you're ever...
Food
is insane.
It's either red or white, meat or fish.
Or really good pasta.
Or really good pasta. It just is the best.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
so finally slice your onion. It doesn't really matter kind of how big or how much really. And then what we're going to do is just going to pickle them slightly. So it just takes the edges off. And I do that with coleslaw, potato salad. If you're ever using like raw onion in a dish, put vinegar on it to start with.
What sort of vinegar is that?
That's just red wine vinegar. You could use anything you wanted to.
Okay.
Red, white, cider, doesn't really matter, whatever your preference is. Bit of garlic, not loads because it's still going to be kind of raw garlic. Let that do its thing and season it. And then I've got just some baby gems, bit of rocket here, which is wilting by the millisecond in the sun, which is nice.
Makes a change rather than the rain.
So you could be here still with an umbrella, which would be nice. Yeah, so Puglia. How good is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you ever get opportunity.
The wine as well. So it was about, quite a few years ago I discovered Negramaro.
Oh yeah, that's one of their premium grapes.
God,
yeah,
it's just
another level.
Wine of gods, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. And I think for me, kind of turning back to the kind of core of this is passion for food and why you go on to things. It was going on holidays to a place like Italy and France that give you that. Well, actually, there's more to kind of food than just what we see at home, or how do they do it. That was the real thing for me.
So have you changed anything since lockdown, or are you sticking, have you adapted anything? Or
I think potentially just obviously trying to do more outside stuff, because that ultimately for me it's got to be confidence. People have got to have confidence.
And the weather's been great.
Weather's been good. So trying to do more stuff in this area, and that's why we built it. This was very quick to adapt and do this. So it's just an L-shaped kitchen, but we can do a bit of prep, especially for the barbecue courses. It's perfect. But yeah, trying to do as much stuff out here as possible, really. And then it's basically just trying to move with the times, keep distance apart, do more outside stuff, reduce numbers. So yeah, it's trying to make it attractive for people to want to come here and safe.
Yeah, good. So what have you got going forward?
Loads. To be fair, the next few days should be pretty crazy. I've got plenty of courses over the weekend. I've got an asado course on Sunday.
What's that?
Asado, so Argentinian barbecuing, basically. The cross lambs, the whole thing.
Have you been to Argentina?
I haven't been to Argentina.
You need to go.
I do need to go. It's another kind of food destination mecca, you could say.
You'll be envious of the outside cooking.
Yeah, they do it properly. So yeah, Tim, who runs Asado Fire Kitchen up in Dorset, he's going to come down and deliver a course.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, so he's got some big pits and things. So we're out on Sunday. We've got a bread course on Friday and an Italian course on Saturday. So a nice cross section of culinary kind of experiences throughout the weekend.
Nice.
So yeah.
Nice.
Right, so with these tomatoes, they're getting a bit blistered. If you can kind of see there, we can take them as far as you want. So again, if you want it to be a bit more traditional, you could say keep it fresh, nice, clean, some kind of salad. But we're gonna probably be happy at that. So it's gonna be warm rather than anything else. Put them to the side. Got all my prep done. So I've chopped some salads, bit of basil, bit of dill, good mates with fish, obviously, some capers there, and use a bit of the juice. Got a bit of lemon. You can use a bit of the zest if you want as well. And olive oil. We're going to pump this full of loads of olive oil towards the back end, but that for the time being. So there you've got a fantastic base, or for anything. You could have that just on fish or meat, just as it is. And again, when you talk about Argentina, they do this quite commonly. They just like have pickled onions just on stuff. So yeah, it doesn't really matter. And in terms of doing it at home, you can have that ready to roll in your container, in your jar, just getting better, and then add the leaves the last minute. Obviously, if you add them now, it's going to just go to a bit of a mush, but kind of one step ahead of the game with doing it that way.
And the fish are going to grill on the barbecue?
Here's one I caught earlier. No, this is Gurnard. So as we kind of mentioned earlier, nice and kind of powerful and meaty.
Did you prep that yourself, or did that?
This came prepped. This one. I was very busy today. I would usually.
Really? Okay.
But I mean, having said that, if you are a chef and you're ordering fillet fish, get the whole thing. It's always good to have the stock, even if you don't necessarily use it, because I think you're paying for it. You're paying for the weight.
Yeah.
You have it. It's your thing. So yeah, touch of oil, nothing crazy, and then we'll probably just do one. So we can really go hard on this.
I like Gurnard.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
And John Dory.
Dory's not. Yeah,
I like Dory.
It's been really good this year as well.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, I've been eating that the last couple of weeks.
So tomatoes can go in there. Tomatoes love salt. Salt loves tomatoes. Really important whenever you're using tomatoes to do that. And then you didn't bring a spoon, but it doesn't matter. So just going to crush these slightly, because you would at Panzanella usually you chop it all and it just soaks up the bread. So what we're doing, we're creating a warm sauce. Bread can go on top, and we'll all combine that last minute.
So what wine would you put with that?
I like Gavi, Italian white. People are a bit kind of off-put by Italian white. They think there's some Pinot Grigio and that's it.
Yeah.
But there's a huge remit of stuff called Pecorino. It's really nice. And the thing with Pecorino, I personally think, is they don't really make it en masse. So you're never going to get a bad Pecorino, because you'll spend a little bit more anyway. But yeah, anything just like clean. It doesn't want to be too punchy. Certainly no like Chablis or Burgundy whites. It'd be too much. Or heavily oaked Chardonnays. But yeah, something clean. It's lunchtime food.
I was going to say this is a lunchtime.
This is the lunchtime food, so really, and that's the beauty about Italian wine. They generally make wine for food rather than the other way around. So they're big reds.
Wine to sit in a piazza all day drinking without falling off your chair.
Well, unless you're doing it properly, then you can do. But no, I think anything nice and clean. I mean, even like a chilled Pinot Noir, like or Beaujolais, if you like really French wines. Anything really.
Cool. Why a chef? Why be a chef? Tell me what it's good about for you. Why are you doing it?
Why am I go ask myself that question every day, really? No, for me it was an extension of another passion. Like rugby was my formative career in my day job for many years, but I was very conscious of following another kind of passion, and there's not many jobs. I don't know many accountants that go work and go, I get to do accounting today. It's brilliant and I'm very successful, but for me I was very conscious of not having a job I was doing for the sake of it. It's hard work and it's a lot of graft, but the return.
So something that you actually love.
I actually love doing. I love it every time I open up the kitchen here.
Does that make you a little bit more creative? Rather than...
Yeah. But also, I love pressure. I thrive on pressure. So running my own business in a food industry which is heavily competitive is kind of double bubble, really.
Okay, cool. So what makes you good?
Good makes me good.
What makes you good?
I think my food's certainly changed in many years since I've started kind of cooking properly, but I generally think my core essence hasn't changed. In my skills have probably got a little bit refined, but my flavour tastes have never really changed. I think that's one thing you do learn, what you like and what you don't like quite early on.
I think that's important.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to stick to what you're good at. So this is pretty much almost there. Soup hot. Again, Gurnard can take the heat, so don't feel you have to kind of mess with it or faff with it at all. Give it a little nudge. I reckon another 30 seconds. You could probably cook it 90% of the way through on your skin side, flip it and let it rest on the plate to finish off the cooking. You don't have to keep turning it. If you've got those fish clamps, brilliant. Use them. That's not a problem. You can just keep it over the thing. So yeah, that can go on top. Again, if you
how long would you recommend, say, keeping that in the fridge if you made it, say, previously without putting the leaves on?
12 hours, overnight. It's
Good
not a problem.
That,
yeah, 100%. And even like Panzanella, traditionally, without it doesn't have the salad, and it sits there and it soaks up all the bread, so it doesn't really matter. We're kind of flipping on its head slightly.
And what bread did you use for that?
That's just ciabatta that's gone stale, basically.
Yeah. So never throw away old bread.
No. Old bread is proper. I think bread and fish, they're the best things not to throw away and to reuse as much as possible. Okay, a bit longer on that. And then I've done a little salsa verde on top. More green, just capers, Dijon mustard, cornichon gherkins basically, and some parsley.
And you'll put that on top of the fish?
Yeah, that's on the fish, so you get kind of super sour and kind of a fresh contrast.
Okay. So anybody that's actually looking like, you know, a young person wanted to be a chef or whatever, you've got your own business. So would you encourage people to go out there and get their own business?
Definitely. I think in Cornwall, what I found is this very entrepreneurial spirit, because a lot of people want to stay in Cornwall, and kind of known fact is there's kind of for every one job there's 100 applicants. So how do you get a job which one you like doing, and two there's an abundance of? And hospitality industry is it's third biggest employer in the county.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So having your own business allows you to do all three of those things: get a job in the county, do something creative, and do something you love. So it's, for me, do your own business. If you want that pressure, if you like pressure,
and the tenacity,
and the creativity, then yeah.
Yeah.
You can do anything you want as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coffee,
you can be whoever you want,
ice cream,
and you can get out
waffles,
there and do it. Yeah.
You can do it. It's just whatever you like doing most of all.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I've flipped the fish. That's kind of resting, doing its thing.
Yep.
Personally, with fish, I undercook fish. It's no kind of secret that a lot of chefs also do, because if you kind of, in the cooking process of fish, if you take it all the way to the end in the pan, then it doesn't give you much kind of lead time before it gets on the table. So it's going to keep cooking. It's got a lot of heat in it.
That residue heat.
Yeah, exactly. So you treat it a little bit like you would steak in Mary's, but so yeah, don't feel you have to like cook it completely all through, let it sit there and then plate up. It's not just me being lazy and not knowing what I'm doing. So it's nice and warm. Mix it all together, and then literally, obviously, because I know Fiona really well, she doesn't mind that my hands are doing this. But it's fine. But it's mega salad. Like.
Cool.
There's not much bread in it for you,
No.
which you'll be pleased about. And then,
I don't mind a good panzanella. I love it.
Cool. So yeah, we will get the fish, which again, because it's gurnard, it can take that kind of, as I said, battering. Nice like burnt bits. And this just takes the edge off it. So yeah. There we've got like warm panzanella with kind of barbecued gurnard.
Lovely.
Give it a go. Wow. So there you've got grilled kind of blackened gurnard, warm panzanella, and a little salsa verde on top. Enjoy.
Thank you, Rupert. Well, this looks absolutely fabulous. We've had a wonderful time here with Rupert. I'm going to try it because he's been eating it when I've been sat here waiting for it to be photographed. If you
don't eat it, I will.
And I can verify it's absolutely amazing.